Morning there. Good morning here. It's 9 a.m., November 21st, 2023 on a Tuesday. I'm going to start out with going over purchase choices for Alice. These choices aren't narrowed down, just kind of get her started on looking at options that are available. Then we're going to try turning on this computer. I have not tried turning it on yet. This is the computer that blew up its video card, where we've got that burn spot right here where it was actually had flames visible inside the computer. I already have audio confirmation. Oh, and for XSplit, I did start with a brand new configuration on my XSplit sources, and I just realized I don't have a source set up to show you the XSplit screen. I only have 4 buttons that I can click on in XSplit, not working with Stream Deck, and see how it goes. So far, I haven't seen any video glitch. So it would be kind of good news if all I have to do is go back to my old configuration and create a new XSplit presentation without having to, start from this fresh Windows 11 install and then install all the other software that I need. So let's come over to, I was reaching for the Stream Deck, clicking monitor 1, which is the only monitor set up for me to go to. And then I'll start with Lenovo.com. If you just go to Lenovo.com, now keep in mind, I don't know a whole lot yet about what Alice wants in a computer. I know some things. Pretty sure she's going to want to stick with an all-in-one computer because I think she said she's limited in space in the area where she has her computer. So anyway, Lenovo.com, we're going to look at Lenovo, Dell, and HP, and Amazon. Okay, these are going to be pretty quick looks. But basically what I want to do, Alice, is show you how to maneuver through their websites and find what you're interested in. So your all-in-one is going to typically be on desktop. So click on this desktop menu, and of course you can play back this video later. And then we want to look for all-in-ones. As you scroll down here, you get kind of confused and messy, but if you go down far enough, you should find on each of these websites a place where they'll take you to all of the choices for all-in-ones. So click on all-in-ones. Now it gives you all these all-in-ones, and $699, $499, there's $1,600, prices all over the place. Most of these sites will have a sorting option so that you can sort them. I would expect that you'd be wanting to look from prices low to high. And also take notice that on Lenovo's site, we haven't seen anything about Black Friday yet. So now you have them sorted in order by price. Now, the things that I think you're going to want to be most concerned with is the size of the screen. That's probably going to be your first factor to choose a computer. And then once you get to the size of the computer, the next thing is how is it equipped and what kind of graphics adapter does it have. Now, you're not going to recognize what is better over the others for graphics adapters, but this is going to be a process. So I'm going to start with this 24-inch to just click into one of them. I did not pre-select this at all. One of the things that you're going to want is the amount of storage and the amount of memory. So here we have 256 gigabytes storage. I'd rather see you at the 1 terabyte level. Not that you're going to need it, but just the price difference to go to 1 terabyte isn't that big of a deal. Another thing you're going to want is memory. You should not be getting 8 gigabytes. This computer doesn't show any option for upgrading the memory. I'd like to see it 32 gigabytes. 16 gigabytes would be okay, but preferably 64 gigabytes. Of course, everything you find here is going to be Windows 11. Core i3, I'd rather be at least an i5. So I'm not liking this one very much. But we're not going to go look over the other choices of Lenovo's. I just wanted to get you started down this line. I'm going to want to hear back from you about how you're feeling about prices and how you're feeling about configuration. Although you did say, you said you just want to see how much they cost. you should not be looking at this $479 and say, yeah, that'll do it. I can afford that. Let's go do that. I think that that's going to be a little bit too weak for you because you like doing some gaming. You might be able to get along with it, but yeah, that just seems too low. So this will give you an idea of the price ranges. If you're comfortable in the $1,000 range, then that's going to give you a lot more choices. Now, because of those prices, you might wind up deciding you'd rather repair the computer than buy a new one. I think for today, we'll just look at buying a new computer at the prices available. And then if you'll give me some feedback, send me an email or something. Do you want some information about what it's going to take to repair the drive? We could do that tomorrow, meaning replace the drive. Now, here's on Dell's site. So if you go to Dell.com, you're not seeing all-in-ones here, but all-in-one is going to be in the desktop section. So click on desktop. Then here's a button to click on for all-in-one. So you click on that, and then come over here to sort them by price from the lowest price. So that it just makes sense to look through them that way. Not that the lowest price one is ever going to be sufficient. Look, 8 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes of storage, just not, it's going to be a struggle. Now, as I scroll down here, I see a lot of 8 gigabytes. There's 16 gigabytes. And we didn't even get to a 32 gigabytes. But then here's more pages. How easy to find what you... Oh, no, that's not pages. Are there more pages, or is that... Oh, here's the pages. So you can go to next, and this is going to take you to the next higher price range. So you can see what's available. 512 gigabytes, that might be okay. Alice, I know that you do like 1 or 2 games. I'm not sure how much space they're occupying on your drive. You could check on that by going Windows key and the letter E, come to your C drive, and right-click on the C drive and click Properties. How much space is used right now? See here, I'm using only 105 gigabytes on this fresh install of Windows 11. My full installation, once I have all of my programs and such installed, and Fortnite, I'm up around, I think, 300 or 400 gigabytes. So you could get along with the 512 gigabytes if that makes a big price difference. Don't assume that it's a big price jump to go to 1 terabyte drive. There's a customize option on many of these computers. So anytime you see customize, go look at a computer that you think might fit what you want, and see here where there's things that you can take a higher level on something. So here we can get a GeForce graphics adapter. This graphics would be built-in graphics, and this would be a graphics card. Now look at the price on the left-hand side, $909. When I click on this, does that immediately change? Yes. So there we see the extra price amount. Some of these sites will actually show you the extra price right on the button when you click on it, or when it's available to click on. So let's move on to HP and get an idea what that looks like. I want to get back to the beginning of HP sites. So HP.com, Lenovo.com, Dell.com. Notice that they come up big and bold right up front that they've got some pre-Black Friday choices in here. Now this screen just went away from that. If you see these dots down here, that shows the different images that they're showing. So if I click to go back to this first one by using this arrow on the left-hand side, I can get back to that first one and see this. Now, is this actually clickable? If I click on that, does that go anywhere? Nope, not yet, but there's a shop button down here. Save up to 84% on doorbuster deals, plus get free shipping, extended returns through January 15th, and click shop on that. But we haven't narrowed down to all-in-ones yet. Does this section give us a place to choose all-in-ones? Well, look at this. Here's $89 for an all-in-one computer. Nah, no, that's not an all-in-one computer. That's a USB-C docking monitor, just the monitor. Scrolling down to see if they give us any selection for all-in-ones. This one here is a monitor. So don't get tricked when you see something that looks like an all-in-one. Here it says actually all-in-one, customizable. Down here we see regularly $1,999, save $600, and this one's going to be $1,400. And there's a customize and buy. Now, when you click on customize and buy, that doesn't mean you're committing to buy, of course, but this just gives you the place where you can go customize. Do you want Windows 11 Home or Windows 11 Pro? I think you'd be fine with Windows 11 Home. If you ever needed to upgrade to Windows 11 Pro, we could help you with that by buying one of Kerry Holzman's licenses for like $15 for Pro and help you upgrade to the Pro version. And then here you can upgrade to a higher processor depending upon how you feel about the starting price of $1,400. So you can go up to a faster processor. I think this one's going to be plenty fast enough for what you're doing, as far as what I know of what you're doing. And then Turbo Silver, that's not a choice. This isn't a choice. This one was a 34-inch diagonal. Then here's where you can choose higher levels of memory. This starts with 16 gigabytes. That would be okay. But yeah, I think you'd be well served to buy the 32 gigabytes. Now you're not going to run into a problem with that. 16 gigabytes probably be okay, but if you ever felt like it wasn't performing well enough for you and you wanted to upgrade, then you're going to have the nuisance of upgrading. So it has to do with how you feel about that price difference. Then now some of the people in the chat room or in this community are going to be saying, well, you could save some money by buying the memory yourself and installing it yourself. But from what I know of you, Alice, I don't think you're going to be eager to open up the computer, especially these all-in-one computers are typically not easy to open. I never do the extra protection plans. Some Homer users will do that and have benefited from doing that. I don't do it for my business users. I would not do it for myself. Protection plans are usually not a real good deal. But I've seen some people really get good deals off of that. One of our people in the community, who was it? Was it Josh? I don't remember who had bought an extra protection plan. No, it was Tim. Yeah, it was Tim Cruz. And he actually got the whole computer replaced. That was a sweet deal. Then here's storage. So we got $100 to get to 1 terabyte. Now here's two 512s, or $10 extra to get this one that's a little bit higher. Well, what is this? 512 PCI NVMe M.2, 512 PCI 4x4 NVMe. So it's a little better performing NVMe drive. I don't think you would ever really notice the difference, but for $10, that's pretty easy, affordable. But are you going to notice a difference? I don't think you would notice it. You might actually have a difference, but whether you would ever know it or not is a different deal. And there's, let's see, well, the 100 to get to that. Oh, the $110, extra $10 again to get the 4x4. Secondary storage, you're not going to need. Graphics card, so here's $50. That's a better deal than the other one that we saw to get to a dedicated graphics card. 3050, that should be pretty decent for your needs. You're not a career gamer. Okay, so that's a little bit there. Without more feedback from you, I don't want to go into it any deeper. If you want to send me links to computers that you're attracted to, I can review it during tomorrow's show if we don't go looking into the repair route. And then for Amazon, you want to search for all-in-one computers. And again, you can sort by price low to high. We're going to get a lot of components here. That's just the way Amazon goes. So if you go click deeper into their pages to get to the higher dollar amounts, well, we're not in all-in-ones here. Didn't we? I said all-in-one computers. When I said price low to high, I'm not getting all-in-ones. So that was a fail. So let's just look at their choice on the results. This is Amazon's best selections based upon what you search for. 470, 700, 534, 866. If you go into the cheapest ones, they're going to be way below what you need. So maybe pick a mid-range price. Again, I don't know where you're at in pricing comfort. when you look at this first blurb that they give, 27-inch all-in-one PC, i7, 1300, this all seems reasonable. 12 gigabytes of RAM there. They're picking that number between 8 and 16. And that's okay, but I'd rather you get the regular even numbers, 16 or 32 gigabytes. Then when you click into it, you want to look at more details, read through these things, go read about the reviews. You could spend a whole lot of time searching for computers. So I think what I want to give you a caution about is don't get too deeply involved. Get some ideas, get a little bit of focus, send me a link. Let me give some feedback on the one that you're on 1, 2, or 3 that you're looking at, and let this be a development over a few days. Hopefully Black Friday you'll be ready to buy something. Now there's lots of other places that you could buy for them. I think I saw somebody in chat's got a Tiger Direct. I want to caution you against going overboard with looking too many places, because it's real easy to become overwhelmed. I'm not too comfortable for a person that's been around computers a lot. Tiger Direct might be an okay place to buy. I don't like that for you, Alice. So in the chat room, hello all, love the trailer. Review to Kill has the best video out of this selection, as it was for the Bond film of the same name. That's from Alice. Chris Garrett, hello. Martin Hogg, hello. Good evening to all from Chile, Scotland, 5 degrees. Chris to Alice, do you remember every radio station in the U.S. played We Are the World one day? Cannot remember the time, but all stations were playing it. Yeah, that was a big, big deal. I actually really enjoyed that too. Ken Stout says, I never realized that the Doug was a teenager during the 80s. I don't know where you got that from. Is it just because I'm doing these trailers of top chart songs from the 1980s forward? I never claimed to be a teenager then. I was not a teenager then. I had been, let's see, what was it? 78? Yeah, I had been married for 2 years by that time. My daughter was born in 1980, so no, not a teenager for the 1880s. Alice says, Chris, that was before my time for We Are the World. Chris to Ken, he had a teenager in the 80s. I didn't have a teenager. My daughter was born in 1980, so she wasn't a teenager until the 90s. John Williams, nice and cool. Madison, trace of snow. Tim Sowell, hello. Selden Ball with the weather report. Chris and Rand and Mike. Jeff, yes, that is my old computer behind me, the one that caught fire while in my daughter and grandson's possession. Ken says, the Doug has a Yeti Gigabyte. I never knew. Ooh, I have a Blue Yeti microphone. I don't know where he gets that. I don't know where he gets that stuff from. Alice says, thank you. You're welcome. Ken to Bobby, Chris to Bobby, Darren. Did I say hello to Bobby? I don't remember saying Bobby's name. I don't even see Bobby. Why is Bobby not? Oh, there's Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Hellos, further filtering on the left side menu. I don't know which of those websites he was looking at, but yes, there's various filters around. With an i3, 32 gigabytes, LOL. Yeah, 32 gigabytes of memory on an i3, probably a little out of balance. Not what you call a balanced meal. Here's what you do as an American. When you can't afford something, you pay as much as you can cash and charge the rest. Charge. John Williams, all-in-ones are difficult to repair. I would go with a mini desktop, a nice video screen that has built-in speakers. I think it would be way better. John, I don't think you're allowing a person to have their own preferences. Alice has already expressed her preference for an all-in-one. Having a mini desktop means she also has to have a monitor, and so that's going to be extra cables going around. She's already said that she prefers an all-in-one. Don't argue a person. Please don't argue the customer away from what they want. This is your mini desktop, is your preference. Now, a mini desktop could be mounted on the back of the monitor for a person who is comfortable with dealing with a computer. That would be okay. I have the impression Alice is not that comfortable with it. And all-in-one's difficult to repair. She's highly unlikely to do repairs herself, and not all computers are ever going to need to be repaired. So I'm not going to jump on board with you there. For Alice, Lawn Dog, yeah, personally, for what I'm hearing, the usage is going to be what I would tend to steer away from all-in-one computers, though they have their purpose. Some models are more difficult for upgrades than others, so try to get something that would need to be upgraded. Now, this is Lawn Dog, also a person who is comfortable working on computers. Come on, people. Not all people are you. John Williams, a mini desktop can mount to the back of a monitor since space is the issue. Now you got the extra cables to deal with. It's not as simple as you think for people who aren't comfortable with that. My PC right now is 2 terabytes. 1 terabyte might be okay. I can't seem to find any 2 terabyte bar from Apple. Well, I think we saw a 2 terabyte upgrade. You're not likely going to find them pre-configured with 2 terabytes. Buying from a manufacturer, customizing, you should not have trouble finding a 2 terabyte upgrade. Now, the base model that you're choosing on any of those manufacturers' websites may have limited capabilities for upgrading. So go to a different base model. With 2 terabyte being your objective, anytime you go select on one of those computers, go to customize, look right away for what they have for storage upgrade. Don't even worry about memory or CPU or graphics yet. Go straight to the storage and see if it'll go to 2 terabyte. My current PC costs $649. I'm assuming that's what you meant by $649 was the cost. Chris Garrett, I bought the plan on my Dell Latitude in January, got warranty until 2027. Yeah, now that's another point where for a person such as Alice, and Alice, forgive me if I'm mistaken about my understanding for you, but a person who is not comfortable with doing their own repairs or even taking the computer in to be repaired or getting help with repairing it, that's an environment where you might be interested in buying the upgraded plan, the warranty, upgraded warranty coverage. So Chris bought a plan on his Dell Latitude in January and got warranty until 2027. And some of them actually cover accidental damage as well, and they'll replace your computer no matter what happens to it. Came in late today from Danielle. I do have to wonder how cost of all computers to monitor with a mini PC attached to the back. Yeah, if you're going to look at buying a mini PC, then you got to go through all the choices for monitors. And then, well, the mini PC is going to come with keyboard and mouse. Not necessarily all of them, but you're going to have to do more in regards to your purchase choices. If something goes wrong, they will come here. Yeah, that's another point too. The upgraded coverage plans where they will come to you and do the repair. That is really worth considering. Also check the option for keep hard drive. Yeah, I get the impression Alice isn't too concerned about the data that she has on her drive because she hasn't actually even responded to me in my questions about her data and whether she has that covered anywhere else. Tiger Direct is laughing. Yeah, not comfortable with Alice going to Tiger Direct. Thanks for your help with the PCs from Alice. Danielle accidentally bumped a monitor, ended up on the floor with a broken screen. Glad it was not an all-in-one. Kent Stout, today's show is the math lesson, as brought to you by the Doug. I guess because we're talking about prices, that's math. In Ken's world, if you do anything with numbers, that's math. This is at 9:19. So Ken looks at the 9:19 a.m. and that's math because it's numbers. Your camera is showing empty boxes on the shelf. You know, like the elf on the shelf. Your camera is showing your empty boxes on the shelf. Half the time I can't figure out what in the world Ken's talking about. Empty boxes. Oh, the Yeti. That's what he was talking about when he said Yeti and Gigabyte. Yeah, Ken comes up with Yeti and Gigabyte in the chat room, and he expects me to realize that's why he said it. Aye, the boy drives me nuts. If she cannot get 2 terabyte, maybe 1 terabyte is okay, then it would be SSD. I think she would love the SSD. Yeah, it's going to be so much faster. Whatever computer you buy, even if you buy the lowest end of the things that are available, it's going to be way faster than what you have been experiencing, because what you've been experiencing for a long time has been that hard drive slowing you down. Late catching up in DVR2 for Jim. Greg says, Apple overcharges for upgrades since memory and SSD are soldered in. Well, you'd want to buy an Apple equipped the way you want it. Never do an upgrade on an Apple. Ken Stout, are we going into overtime today? I can extend my start time. I guess we are going to be a little bit overtime. So Ken's implying that he has a show, and I haven't even looked yet. So I'm going to go over here and see if he's got something for me to redirect to. Let's see, there's a Ken Stout, 11:21, Da Vinci, and he's got scheduled for 9:30. You don't have to change that scheduled time, Ken. You can leave it at 9:30. Even if I go over time, it'll still be available for you to start that show. Good idea. Thanks for the tip. To Chris, I had a Dell as a child, and it was Ace, custom one. Acer, maybe? Doug, I fully understand the requirements Alice would like to have. I also understand upgrading would be problematic, but until we find out how much she is willing to spend, yeah. Let's see. A lot of suggestions might not be helpful. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go too much further until getting some feedback from her. Apple Bar, they sell apple cider mixed with liquor. A lot of our suggestions may not be helpful. Okay, scanning through here a little bit. Laptop repair is not that hard from Jim. Jim, no. A normal person that going for a laptop repair, it can be very troubling. I disagree with you there. For normals, Jim's been around computers so long. I think I'm around normals I think more than Jim. Doing a laptop repair, I'm going to disagree with. Watching every single word you're saying. Jeez. Okay. Thanks. I will leave all of my beloved subs hanging and not change the time. You know how they want me to be very specific. I'm going to come back and highlight somewhere around here because I'm not going to read all of those. I'm going to go ahead and try to start this computer. I already have it plugged in to that monitor. I do not have it plugged into the capture card because with this fresh Windows install, I do not have that driver set up. So I'm going to go test my keyboard cam, be sure it survived the start. It's taken a long time to switch to the keyboard cam. No, you know what it did here? Somehow my scene for the keyboard cam got linked with my face cam. Okay, I know you've got a blank screen right now. I'm going to try to get this camera set up again. I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the keyboard camera. Now, did that change the camera for my face cam? No, it did not. Okay, so good. Now, start button, power button up here. This has a power button on the left and a reset button on the right. So I'm going to press that and then switch back to the keyboard camera on that one. Do I hear anything? Do I see anything? Yeah, there are lights on. You're looking at the monitor. My RGB is lit up. There we got a startup going. CPU fan error. Press F1 to run setup. Oh, I didn't need to press F1. I should have pressed, I think it was the enter key to get it to just go on. So there is, I'll save, change, and reset. I don't know if it actually made any automatic changes there. I'll show you this RGB upgrade What a joke on this computer. Waiting. There we go. CPU fan error. I don't want to press F1 to run setup. Press enter. How about escape? Yeah. Oh, doesn't want to do either. But F8 boot menu and boot to the Samsung 860 EVO 1 terabyte. Reboot, select proper boot device. So the drive is not functional. At least Windows on there is not functional. So that's as far as we got with that. Yeah, there you can see the RGB. I just saw a hesitation in video. Yeah, I'm seeing hesitations in video. So that means that new presentation in XSplit did not solve that problem. Back to the drawing board. My next thing is, remember I had some problems with this webcam where I'd have to unplug it and plug it back in. In fact, I'm going to try that right now. I'm out of view for a minute, because this is one of those long USB cables. Camera unplugged and camera plugged back in. We've seen that fix a problem before. It still looks herky-jerky. Okay, I'm going to put this back on the chat room, give you the chat room. I'm going to turn off the picture-in-picture, then try disconnecting that webcam again. Ooh, you know what I could do? Here, this is a little more fun. Give you the keyboard camera. Yeah, I know you're getting seasick, motion sickness. All right, and yes, there is a white sheet over that window there because I'm experimenting with a difference in lighting. So it's back here, high, disconnected. I'm going to leave that disconnected a little bit more, a little bit longer. It's actually a little warm. Plugged it back in. Yeah, I could have tested that when I'm not live streaming, but it doesn't seem to behave that same way. That still looks jumpy. All right, there's something else going on here. I have not found the trouble yet. I will read over the rest of your comments after ending the video, and you will be redirected to Ken Stout unless you pause the video just after I end it, or go back a little bit in DVR. That way you can hang in the chat room a little bit longer if you want to. But don't do that. Go watch Ken. Go watch Ken. Go watch the Kenster. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.